All right, let's talk Seattle Seahawks. Got some great Seahawks news for you guys as we, of course, have worked our way through mini camps and OTAs. We're getting excited for the regular season. Training camp is almost upon us, and we're starting to see what Seahawks players, what new Seahawks are making a name for themselves and getting recognized. And there's one in particular that's earning a lot of praise from everybody, whether it be scouts, whether it be opposing coaches, or whether it be veteran leaders on Seattle, and that is rookie Byron Murphy. Let's pull up this report, and then we'll talk about it more in detail on the other side. It's just courtesy of SI.com. Leonard Williams knows a thing or two, so when he speaks, we listen. With minicamp all wrapped up as we enter the dead period, ESPN's Brady Henderson made a conscious effort to single out a quote from Williams about his younger running mate. Taking the opportunity to heap praise on Murphy, here is what Williams had to say. He understands the game already, which is really nice to see. A lot of times you see first rounders, rookies, they have all the physical attributes, but they still have to kind of learn football a little bit. Whereas he seems like he has that under wraps already. They did a good job over there at Texas teaching him football. Also, he's just a hard worker. That's the number one compliment I can give somebody is that they work hard. All right, when you're talking about first-round picks, defensive lineman, Leonard Williams would know a thing or two about that because he was a first-round pick who had all kind of physical attributes. That's why he was drafted high. The fact that Murphy is impressing him is a great sign for the Seahawks. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Seattle fans, in the comment section below, we're talking defensive tackles, interior defensive line. Give us your favorite Seattle Seahawks interior defensive lineman of all time. There's a couple of interesting names that could be on this list, but only give us one. Who is your favorite Seahawks interior defensive lineman? Make sure you put them in the comment section below. And while you're down there, make sure you check out our description for a list of our preferred reading for NFL books. If you're looking for some great reading over the summer, there's a lot of great books in there talking about coaches' autobiographies, history of the game, a lot of great stuff. Make sure you check it out. But Miles, give me your thoughts on Murphy and Williams' comments and just everything going on with the Seahawks right now.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is really good. And I think we're kind of seeing a trend here. We're seeing guys who come into the league prepared, and we're seeing teams who do that. And Texas seems like a team lately who's really developed players very well. Guys have been coming in prepared, especially Byron Murphy. He looked like he's prepared. And Leonard Williams acknowledges that, and he says as such. But we see this happen all the time, and I'm going to bring up a couple examples. You see first round picks come into the league, especially the defensive line position in particular. They don't really grasp the NFL concepts. They're not maybe necessarily keyed on the game of football. They're physical, studs. They have all of the tools to be able to do everything, but they can't. And I've got a couple of guys who I have examples of who didn't do so well, and I have one example of another guy from another very strong program who did. You look in the last couple of years, you think Trayvon Walker comes in from Georgia. Everyone talks about Georgia. Georgia is a team full of superstar athletes. It's kind of hard to hold them because everyone on that defense the last couple of years really just was the best of the best athletes. And it's almost as if there were so many good athletes, a lot of guys could do whatever they wanted and get away with murder a little bit on the defensive line. Trayvon Walker comes in to the Jaguars, really just he's underachieved, especially for 1-1. He has majorly underachieved. He's kind of been, I'm not going to say a bust, but he has not been deserving of that 1-1 status. Then you look at another guy who comes in from Texas Tech, Tyree Wilson, came in. He just really hasn't done a whole lot. He hasn't been impressive. And going on from there, you look at another guy who did come from Michigan into the league early on, a team that's well known for getting players NFL ready, an NFL caliber program. You see Aiden Hutchinson come into the league, another defensive line guy. He seemed absolutely prepared. Leadership was there. His ability to, understand the game of football and do everything he needed to do, that was there. So hearing Leonard Williams come in and say this guy knows football and he knows the game, being a first round pick, we knew that he had the physical tools already. That was a given. But to know that he knows the game of football, like a guy like Aiden Hutchinson knows the game of football and was prepared for the NFL level, I think that's going to be huge for the Seahawks going forward, and I am excited to see Byron Murphy hit the field.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We actually talked about Murphy, I think about a month and a half ago. The fact that when he showed up at rookie minicamps, he looked the part, was a very physically imposing guy, checked all the physical boxes, which was a great sign because obviously you never really know until they get on the field how these guys look. But now that we're seeing him actually show up with the mental side of the game much higher than expectations, plus he's a hard worker, that's a phenomenal sign. Because like I said in the open, Leonard Williams knows what it's like to be a first-round pick with every physical tool in the book. That's exactly what Williams was coming out of college. It actually took Williams a little bit of time to get all the mental side of the game down before he became the dominant player that he is today. So Williams kind of sees a little bit of Murphy and says, hey, this guy's a lot farther along than I was when I was a young player. He's going to be a big, impactful guy for us right away. So I think that's a great sign for the Seattle Seahawks. But another interesting tidbit that I mentioned, that it's not just the Seahawks, it's not just Leonard Williams that are really high on Murphy. It's the competition. In fact, it's a smart competition. Look, Seattle fans, whatever you think of the Rams and Sean McVay, you have to acknowledge they're a smart bunch, right? That's just the truth of it. And this was brought to my attention on Twitter via New Era 72, just recorded a video of Sean McVay talking about how desperate he was trying to go up in the draft to get Byron Murphy. This came out recently. McVay was talking to his guys in the war room saying, hey, we got to try and go up and get Murphy. I would try and get this guy. He makes a huge difference to me. I don't think he gets past 16. He's way better than anybody. Want to call Schneider, talking about going to John Schneider, see if they can trade up to get Murphy, right? So again, when your own teammates, Leonard Williams, smart guy, veteran guy, when he's in on Murphy, that's a great sign. But I also like to see corroborating evidence. The competition, the smart competition, the Rams also really like Murphy as well. Based on all this information and all the momentum we're seeing right now, I think it's pretty clear the Seattle Seahawks got themselves a young star in Murphy who should only get better and better as he continues to get more practice reps in.